Hello, and welcome to our channel. Today, we have a deeply concerning and urgent story developing in Ukraine. Russia has just unleashed one of its most devastating aerial attacks in months, targeting multiple cities, including the capital, Kyiv. The overnight assault has left a trail of destruction, with initial reports confirming at least 4 civilian deaths, dozens more injured, and significant damage to homes, medical facilities, and critical infrastructure. It began around midnight. Air raid sirens blared across Kyiv as a terrifying wave of drones and missiles descended upon the capital and its surrounding regions. For over 12 hours, the sky was a battlefield. Ukraine's air defense systems worked tirelessly, straining to repel the relentless barrage. According to Ukrainian officials, Russia deployed an astonishing number of munitions, an estimated 595 drones and 48 missiles in this single, coordinated assault. While Ukraine's defenders managed to intercept the majority of these threats, the sheer volume was overwhelming and the damage inflicted was severe. In Kyiv, a cardiology clinic was struck, a place of healing turned into a scene of destruction. Multiple residential buildings were also hit. Tragically, among the 4 confirmed dead is a 12-year-old girl, her young life cut short in one of the strikes on a city district. This isn't just an attack on infrastructure. It's an attack on families, on children, on the very fabric of civilian life. The horror was not confined to the capital. The bombardment stretched across the country, hitting Zaporizhia, Mykolaiv, Odessa, Khmelnytskyi, Sumy, and Chernihiv. Reports from these regions indicate dozens of people have been injured, some of them seriously adding to the growing toll of this brutal attack. In a powerful address to the nation, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the attacks as vile and cowardly, accusing Russia of deliberately terrorizing civilians. He made an urgent appeal to allied nations and the international community, calling for stricter sanctions, particularly on Russia's energy sector, and pleading for an acceleration in the shipment of advanced air defense systems to protect his people. The proximity of the strikes to NATO borders has also raised alarms. Poland, fearing a potential spillover, took precautionary measures, temporarily closing parts of its airspace and scrambling its own fighter jets. This move highlights the very real risk that this conflict could escalate beyond Ukraine's borders. Many observers are calling this assault one of the heaviest of the entire conflict, a clear sign of Russia's escalating strategy. This isn't just a random act. It's a calculated effort to overwhelm Ukraine's defenses and demoralize its population through sheer force. To understand how we arrived at this critical moment, we need to look at the recent evolution of the conflict. In the past few months, Ukraine has made significant strides. Pushing back against Russian forces with the help of increasing Western support, in response, Russia has intensified its tactics, turning to methods that are both destructive and difficult to counter. Swarms of drones, for example, are relatively cheap and can be deployed in massive numbers. Their purpose is often not precision, but saturation, overwhelming defenses, and causing widespread chaos and damage. Ukraine has been working hard to bolster its air defense capabilities, integrating Western systems and developing sophisticated electronic warfare to jam incoming threats. However, the sheer scale of last night's attack tested these defenses to their absolute limit. While many drones and missiles were successfully intercepted, the overwhelming numbers meant that some inevitably got through with devastating consequences. This is why President Zelensky's government has been so vocal about its need for more advanced systems, like the Patriot missile batteries and other long-range assets. A Patriot system recently supplied by Israel has been deployed to aid in the defense of key areas, and more are desperately needed. The race to fortify Ukraine's skies is a race against time. Military analysts suggest that Russia is employing a strategy of attrition, or wear and tear. The goal is to exhaust Ukraine's air defense resources, sow fear among the civilian population, and systematically degrade the country's infrastructure, especially as the harsh winter months approach. By targeting power plants, medical centers, and residential areas, Russia aims to inflict both physical and psychological damage, hoping to break the will of the Ukrainian people. Ukraine's ability to withstand this onslaught now increasingly depends on the speed, volume, and effectiveness of military support from its global allies. As Russia escalates, the pressure on Ukraine's defense networks grows heavier each day. Beyond the strategic analysis, the human cost is staggering. In Kyiv, once vibrant neighborhoods now lie in ruins. Windows are blown out, walls are blackened by fire, and families have been forced from their homes with nothing but the clothes on their backs. In one harrowing scene, rescue workers frantically dug through rubble searching for survivors, while terrified residents huddled in basements and metro stations, seeking refuge from the ongoing attacks. The personal stories emerging are heartbreaking. One mother, clutching her young child, described the moment a blast hit just meters away, plunging their world into darkness and terror. Another resident shared how the explosion didn't just shatter their windows, but shattered their sense of safety, their feeling of home. The impact ripples outwards. Hospitals are overwhelmed, struggling to cope with the influx of injured civilians, including many women and children. Medical staff, already stretched thin by years of conflict, are working around the clock in overcrowded wards to save lives. Across the country, the attacks on energy infrastructure have caused widespread power outages, threatening daily life as winter looms. Access to clean water, heat, and electricity is now at risk for millions. This destruction isn't just about damaged buildings. It's a systematic assault on hope, on normalcy, and on the basic necessities for survival. The international community has responded swiftly with words of condemnation. The United States renewed its calls for continued military aid to Ukraine. Leaders from the European Union and NATO are reviewing sanctions and defense support packages. Voices from around the world have echoed President Zelensky's demand for more robust and immediate action. Russia, for its part, continues to claim that it only targets military infrastructure, denying any deliberate attacks on civilians. However, the images of destroyed homes, the witness accounts from the ground, and the fact that a cardiology clinic was hit make these denials incredibly difficult to believe. The pattern of the attack strongly suggests a disregard for civilian life. Some analysts are now warning of a heightened risk of escalation. With Poland already reacting militarily to threats near its border, the potential for a miscalculation or a cross-border incident is higher than ever. The chilling prospect of the war widening and drawing NATO more directly into the conflict is a constant, looming threat. For Ukraine, the strategic options are stark. Without a significant increase in air defense capabilities, long-range deterrence, and sustained international aid, its cities and its people will remain vulnerable to these brutal attacks. And yet, amidst the devastation, the morale of the Ukrainian people remains remarkably resilient. For many, these attacks are not a reason to surrender, but a painful confirmation that their fight for freedom is existential. Tonight's attack is more than just a news headline. It is a tragic and vivid reminder of how, in modern warfare, it is civilian life that so often becomes the battlefield. For lives lost, dozens wounded, homes and hopes destroyed, and a blanket of fear cast over entire communities. But no matter how many drones or missiles fall, the spirit of the Ukrainian people endures. The urgency, however, is crystal clear. Stronger defenses, a louder and more unified global response, and relentless, unwavering support are needed now more than ever. Thank you for joining us for this critical report. Stay safe and stay informed. Please consider subscribing to our channel so you don't miss important updates on this and other global stories.